Hi everybody, welcome to Jenkins Boat Works. I am Chuck Jenkins. In this video, we are going to continue working on our Yukon racing kayak, and we're going to do some fiberglass work. I know there are a lot of videos on YouTube about doing fiberglass, and I don't know that I have an awful lot more to offer, but if you've been following the project, it is time that we get to this part of it. So we're glad you're here. Before I go much further, I want to give a shout out to some friends that watch us on our YouTube channel, the Oregon Coots. I have just become a member and they sent me a Bergie, which we now proudly hang in the Jenkins Boat Works shop. I was not aware of the traditional Small Craft Association, which is that little sticker that's up there. But I was made aware of it, and so I joined, and that gained me eligibility to join this group that's in Oregon. I am in Missouri, so I am likely their easternmost member, and I don't expect that I will make it to very many of their what they call mess-abouts, but I'm happy to be included in the group, and I am now officially a coot. So if you want to look these guys up, the Oregon Coots chapter, Traditional Small Craft Association, and there's their website, coots.org. So anyway, hi guys. So anyway, like I said, we're doing some fiberglass work. We also got another video coming out very soon on how I tried to do the staining of the deck, try to get us a little darker color other than just the Western red cedar. So that video is going to be out very soon as well. If you happen to be new to the channel, welcome. We're glad you're here. And please consider subscribing. For everybody else that's been following this, we do have a playlist. The playlist will be linked at the end of the video and also in the video description. So I think we're on episode, I don't know where we're at, I keep losing count, 12, 13, something like that. And quite honestly, we're getting really close to getting to a point where we're gonna put the hull and the deck together and create our boat. So it's all very exciting. We're moving along pretty quick, and so anyway, I'll jump in and show you what kind of work we were doing on some of the fiberglass. All right, we're getting ready to do some fiberglass work. This cloth's been laying on here for a couple of days. That's just because I couldn't get a time window to be able to do the initial wet out and then a fill coat. It is now Friday night, and so we're gonna do our wet out now, get up very early in the morning and do a fill coat. It didn't hurt that this has been laying on here for a couple of days. It kind of lets the cloth relax. And I had used a paintbrush, a chip brush, to smooth the wrinkles out of it when we first rolled it out on here. I am using something new this time I haven't done before. This is an S cloth. It's supposed to be more abrasion resistant and stronger. It's a 4-ounce cloth, so we are probably going to double it up. But we need to get at least our initial wet out, our initial layer on here. Just feeling it, and like when I was just cutting it, it just feels different. I can't describe it. Better. It's better put together, kind of. It doesn't feel like it's going to just fray as much. Which is really nice, because if there's anything that's annoying about doing this, it's when you have all those little strings that are coming off and going everywhere. So anyway, I have left some overhang on here just because if we have epoxy drip, I'm okay with it just catching any end of here. I don't want to touch this too much. There's a tendency to want to do that, but if I have oil on my fingers, that's not a good thing. You don't want any contaminant on here at all, because it'll it'll screw up the epoxy's ability to set up right. So when I put it on here, I very minimally touched it, and like I said, we got the wrinkles smoothed out of it with a paintbrush. So, all right, we're gonna mix up some. I'm using the West system. That's my favorite epoxy, and I'm gonna use a 206 hardener, which is a slow hardener. I don't really need it, but it's what I have. It is 66 degrees here in the shop right now. I will expect that it'll cool down a little bit overnight, which is actually a good thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna mix up some epoxy and we'll spread it on there and see if we can get it wetted out. All right, more in a little bit. I always like to start in the middle and work either backwards or forwards because if you do have any wrinkles in here, you don't want to start here at the back and then do some up here and then pushing it this way and pushing it this way, and then all of a sudden you got a bunch of wrinkle in the middle. If I can start in the middle and push back, I can push any wrinkles either to the back or either to the end on the front. All right, I've been mixing this for 3 minutes. Looks real good, and I got a squeegee, and let's do this. Pretty exciting, actually. Pretty exciting. I don't want to mix up too much. So we got probably 3/4 of this cup full. Stir it up real good and we'll go do some more. Dang, I keep fumbling this thing. It's all right. We're gonna blame it on the gloves. You can see how that just wants to run because we're in such a vertical space here. I think I'm going to do the rest of that with a chip brush. It's just too vertical. Yeah, that's why we've got extra cloth hanging down there. It's just so it kind of catches those drips. I need to get those places where it's just not attached to the wood. And it's something we can dab in there with the chip brush too. That's a thing. We'll just kind of dab it in there. Some of that's been sitting in this cup for a minute though. We got our first wet out coat on here, and we took the squeegee and just went back and did a technique that Nick Shada does where you just go down and kind of scrape all the excess off very systematically. You don't really want a lot of shiny spots. There's a little bit here on the top where it's, you know, not just like the weave's filled, but for the most part, we can still see a lot of the fiberglass weave, most of it in fact, and that's what we want. We're gonna come back several hours from now. You can see some here where we didn't get it squeegeed off. That's fine, we're just a little amount. So we got a good wet out. We are adhered to the wood got soaked, and just feel real good about it. Now I really like this S cloth, really like it. All right, well, it's 10 o'clock at night. We will be back up here probably no later than 6 in the morning and do a fill coat. Still about 65 degrees in here. It's supposed to cool off overnight, and I don't have the heat on, so that'll just be fine. If it off gases at all, it should be able to bubbles should be able to escape, but boy, at the moment, it just looks fantastic. Okay, so it's about 6:30 in the morning. We got done with this at about 10:15 last night, so it's been almost 8 hours or so, and it's dry to the touch, and it just looks great. We really didn't have very many runs. The weave is exposed, so that's obviously part of what we're working on now. I've trimmed off just a little bit around the edges, and it trimmed easily. So now we're going to use a roller, 1/4-inch nap roller, and see if we can fill this weave just a little bit. I'm not going to go too crazy because we are going to put another layer of cloth on top of this, and that's probably going to happen later this afternoon. So we still got the deck over there that we haven't even done anything with, but we can't really do anything to it until we get this done and get this popped back off the mold. So Toby is over here helping me. Oh, what a good boy. I got a little roller pan. I've mixed up some epoxy. This is the roller I'm going to use. And this is going to be a kind of a quick deal. We're not going to try to apply too much. Just get a coating on and get it in the weave. One thing I will say about having staple holes in this is that it gives you reference points for where you are. And I've noticed it when I was sanding, even vacuuming it off, vacuuming the sawdust off of it. It's like, okay, well, I'll start on this row of staples, work over to here or whatever. And so, you know, you still can see them quite visibly. Not from any distance, but it actually has been kind of a help, which wasn't really anything that I expected. So anyway, we started in the middle when we did this before, but I'm not going to do that now. We're just going to work end to end. And like I said, we're just going to roll this on here and try to fill this weave up a little bit. I'm not going to get too crazy, just want to get a coat on here. Because we are going to put another layer of glass on this, like I said, probably, hopefully later this afternoon. The thing about doing this before it's cured is that we're going to try to get, well, not try, we're going to get not only mechanical, but we should get a chemical bond so the epoxy will bond to itself. Had we let this cure up real good and hard, like over a couple of days, then you run the risk of some amine blush, which you have to actually wash off, and or just to get some tooth in it, so you got something for the epoxy to grab onto, you would need to sand it. So we are avoiding both of those things by doing this before it sets up too much. I needed to look up and see if this, I kind of don't think this is supposed to blush, the amine blush, and I can't remember the West System 206 slow hardener. I need to look that up. If after it sets up it feels waxy at all, that's a blush, or sometimes you can even kind of see it. And if it does that, then if it's got a waxy consistency, that's not good for another coat or even paint, because it won't adhere to it. See there. I just got, this is a 1/4-inch nap roller. I just got it at the hardware store. We will use an Epiphanes 2-part paint later. When you do that, you got to get a special roller because that paint will eat your foam roller. So we order actually special paint rollers from Epiphanes for that. But for this epoxy, it doesn't do that. I don't find this epoxy to be, what's the word, vicious, not vicious. It doesn't have a whole lot of bad smell to it, or I don't feel the need to wear a respirator at all. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. This is the process that I mentioned earlier, where you take a squeegee and take the excess epoxy off of here. I believe Nick Shotta calls it a grunge cup. This helps smooth it out, avoids having a lot of runs, and actually makes your life easier when you go to sand later. Toby, you need to back up. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.